So this is a story I found from MSN entitled 62% of voters say the election has made them feel less proud of America. And the first thing they do is they compare it to, the 2012 election, because they're here in 2016, only 7% of Americans felt more proud of America. In 2012, it was 34. 62% feel less proud as opposed to 12. And 28 feel no different as opposed to 45. I'd like to point out those numbers feel kind of odd considering how, if you have the first digits of all of them, none of them actually equal, 0. So I just want to point that out real quick. And I also like to point out that apparently, comparing it between Trump and Clinton voters, only 9% of Trump voters feel more proud, only 6% of Clinton voters do. 49% of Trump voters feel less proud, and 74% of Clinton voters do. And 39% feel no different, as opposed to 18% Clinton voters. This is because, again, I go by the mind, there are very, very few Clinton supporters. There are just people who don't like the idea of Donald Trump being in office. And to those people, I recommend they all vote for Jill Stein instead of Hillary Clinton. Although, I guess it'd still be better than picking Gary Johnson. But yeah, and the thing is, this is what happens when you, first off, keep presenting this false dichotomy. Now, it's not even a false dichotomy because it's a true dichotomy in this case. And it shouldn't be, People shouldn't be worried about voting for a third party. And I don't get this. People are like, third parties are never going to win because no one's going to vote for them. Well, have you ever tried? No, because no one's going to vote for them. Try voting for them, but no one else will, okay? Have you ever heard of voting for, who you want to win and not who you think is going to win? If I was voting for who I thought was going to win, if I was talking positively about who I thought was going to win, I'd be the biggest Hillary supporter of all time. But anyone who knows my channel knows I won't. I'm not a Hillary supporter, and I support her over Trump, but I still think Stein would be far better for the U.S. as opposed to, Donald, as opposed to Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and all of those other ones. And, and at the same time, I also think this is what happens when you have two, I don't want to say equally awful candidates, but awful in different ways. They are essentially very different evils, but they are still evil, and I really hate the whole lesser of two evils idea, because when you have to decide between lesser of two evils, you're still choosing between evils. It's like if I told you, pick between Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin. I don't want to do that. Well, you have to pick one, but they're both evil. Yeah, pick the lesser of two evils. Yeah, screw you. And, and I do think Hillary Clinton's going to win, and probably a landslide. I do think there might be a small amount of people who are going to vote for Trump, but I don't think they're nearly going to be enough for Trump to win. And really, this is just the result of our current system. We need to fix the system first. That's really it. I'm Joe, and good night.